Hi, this is Erkin Fresh, aka Blue Phoenix. All right, we're ready to do some Mixdown here. And just a few tips here. I actually listened to the track since the last session, and I took a bunch of notes. And I like to put the bar number and then the note I've got. And that helps me kind of locate what I was thinking at the time. But a few other tips here is you can share your track with other people and just kind of get their feedback on it. If I'm sending it to a label, then they usually have a lot of feedback. They often tell me my kick is too weak. I need to turn it up. So yes, you can try listening to your track in a lot of different places. I made this tutorial on my computer speakers. I also have monitors I use. Headphones can help you hear the stereo effects more. Your car stereo, it's kind of funny. A lot of times it'll sound great on my computer. I'll take it into my car and it sounds like crap, and I have to go back and kind of tweak some things, and it does tend to sound better when I had to get a variety of listening experiences. And of course, if you start to get tired of hearing the song, then just stop and take a break, listen to something else. The last thing you want to do is tire yourself out on the song, because then you're not going to make very good decisions. So I'm just going to go through these one at a time here. And we'll just start off with, I said it's 65. I think the lead has too much bass frequency. So let's see if we can see that. And your best tool here is, I like to use the spectrum in Ableton. It can kind of show you what's going on. It'll show you what frequencies are in here. And it, it's got it's around the 300 hertz range. And our basses are probably going to be clashing with that. So let's just check it out. You see our basses are very strong in that area as well. So what we're going to do here is just, we're going to use some EQ. We need to EQ the lead anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab an EQ8 here. And we'll set this to a low cutoff. Let's do it times 4. Well, let's do it times 2. 12 dB. What this is going to do is give us more room in our. What's it actually doing here? Doesn't look much lower. This is just going to get the lead out of the way of the bass and give us a little bit more room for it. Try to make it a little bit brighter. You notice the lead sounds a little bit quieter. We can actually fix that with the gain here on the EQ. Maybe a couple dB, because it lost some power down here. You're going to have to make up for that in the gain. Let's just show that it's clipping now. Why don't we just drop that back down a little bit. We'll fix it with the volume adjustment if we need it. Delete that spectrum. That's going to help us out. And the other note I had was, brighten it with the EQ. I believe that at 177, it felt like the lead wasn't loud enough. So I'm going to fast forward to that while we're thinking about the lead. It just feels like I need to bring that volume up some. And really, you got to be really careful, because just 1 dB can make a huge difference at this point. So it was a 7.6. I'm thinking maybe -6. That sounds a little bit more, the lead's taking a lot more precedence in the track now, so I think that's a good thing. And when I get done with one of these, I just like to put a couple dashes in front. It tells me that I took care of it. At least I think I did. Okay, so at 113, I thought the chord ooh was too loud. It needs EQ to maybe cut the bass. All right, so yeah, let's take that spectrum here and see what we got going. Again, yeah, we're down here in the 300 hertz, and we really don't want to be, because that resonant bass here is reso bass, I called it. Let's grab a spectrum here. He's really potent around there too. So we don't want to cut the bass, the power of the bass. So that's a prevalent piece of that breakdown. We're going to use the EQ8 on this one too. And we'll just do a let's do the 12 dB cutoff again. Yeah, I think we want to try to brighten this up. Let it focus on the higher frequencies. All right, that takes care of the chorded ooh. It might be too loud still, so let's fix that too. I think that might be part of the reason we're having trouble hearing the chants, the Latin chants. So let's just drop it down a couple dB. We don't really want it to be super prevalent. That's good. So it's kind of a background instrument at that point. Let's see how it sounds here. So I can't really hear it anymore at this point. It sounds great, the breakdown. So I'm actually going to just automate the futility gain here. And let's just bump it up like a couple here. Kind of touchy. That works for me. All right, so maybe compress the Vox more. Okay, so that's going back to here, bar 129. So I'm kind of having trouble hearing this. So I did cheat a little bit. I looked at my earlier project, and I figured out all the settings I had. It's really a pain getting these set up sometimes, and I'm just going to cut right to the chase. So I had to set my output to like 8.5 dB on contact, coming out of contact, so I don't need this futility anymore. And I actually put a compressor right on this track. I set the threshold to -26, ratio 3.4, and out was plus 3.63. It's not cooperating. There we go. And I set the track volume to -4.5. And I don't need this compressor here anymore. I actually take this compressor that's on this one, and I'll just put it right on here on this one as well. Of course, that's going to change. Output some. After I adjusted the volume, of course. It sounds a lot better at this point. The vocals come through. It's a lot more clean and understandable, intelligible. I notice that these are like almost inaudible now. It's because I took that compressor off. Why don't we just take that same compressor, copy, and paste it. All right, we're making progress here. So you might think, oh, this is a boring tutorial. Well, Mixdown is typically very boring. We have taken care of that as well. We just took care of that. The chord E, we took care of this one. So I thought the kick was getting a little bit lost in everything that was going on. What we could do as well, yep, we need a side chain press. We're not going to go to graph mode and crash it. tempted to, but I won't. That's good enough. We put a sidechain compress on those oohs. That'll help that kick come through. I noticed I never did put a sidechain compress on the bass, and it's because I left that first note of each beat empty. Don't need to sidechain compress it at all. So that's only one way to get those not to clash. Just not having the note there is another way. And I just need to delete a few risers here at 225 and 257. I thought maybe it was getting a little bit overused. So I'll just remove these. I'm going to leave the cymbal and just remove the rest of these. See how it sounds without the riser. Should be fine. All right. Cool beans. So this is a very iterative approach. So sometimes I'll knock things around a few dB, then I'll listen to it a few more times, and it won't be perfect, but it'll be a lot closer. And every time you do it, it's going to get better. So that's basically how you approach your mixdown. Make sure you take a lot of notes. It can get hectic if you try to do it on the fly. Like, oh, I heard a problem, let me fix it, and then you might forget about other things. So I like to just go through it all and take notes. Another tip here is, when you get done, the curve should look, most of your power should be here in the bass, and it should just slope down gently as you get higher frequency. There is something here at 1K that's a little bit high. That's probably the lead. Yeah, that's okay because it's the lead. It can kind of poke out a little bit. So anyway, that's the basics of mixing down. Again, if you submit this to a label, they might have suggestions on how you can fix it. And it's just something you'll get better with over time. It's really hard to explain maybe, but hopefully you got a little bit something out of that tutorial. And the next tutorial should be the last in the series. I'm going to show you how to get a professional sounding mastering job. Check you next time.